Greetings, brothers and sisters. A little bit of Matthew Perry stuff here, a couple little stories, maybe more tomorrow. Doing this on the 1st of November, but it might be, this will probably be up on the 2nd. So I'm starting it on the 1st. So I might add some things, is what I'm saying. Sort of another Hollywood celebrities dropping like flies. Matthew Perry was high as a kite, didn't remember proposing to ex-fiancée Molly Hurtwitz. Molly looks like a real treat. Apparently, she said he caused her the most pain as well. That was another headline. I'm not going to cover that here, but she's getting her 15 minutes of fame. Remember when Bob Saget's wife went on a crying tour? She went on Today's Show and cried, and she went on whatever various other network morning shows where and cried, and Entertainment Tonight and cried, and she went on a weeping tour. Made sure to promote her stuff and her Instagram and get her own little following going there. But this woman was almost married to Matt Perry, and so somehow she's newsworthy. She has this to say, maybe. Matthew Perry's ex-fiancée, Molly Hurtwitz, spoke about Friends star, and she's posting a lot here on Instagram. He would love that word. Let's go look at her Instagram. The late Friends star shared that at the end of 2020, he was in an expensive Swiss rehab facility when he proposed to Hurtwitz. There they are, all masked up together. Trying to find her Instagram link here. Apparently, her Instagram is private, which I guess gives a little bit more credibility. Or you have to friend her or something. I don't know. But she is grieving on Instagram, which is always the best way to grieve. He would love the world. He is talking about how talented he was, and he really was very talented. At the Friends reunion was approaching, we rewatched the show, and boop, I was so good. See what I did there? Okay, so that's part of the problem. I mean, Friends, we rewound and studied the scenes. Our respect and appreciation of the humor is something that connected us. Being with him as he rediscovered his brilliance was magical. Okay, so I'm in the editing process. I have a little clip I want to show a little clip I want to add here, which is another one of these Friends predictive programming things. But how sad is it that this guy would watch Friends and talk about how brilliant his acting, his comic timing were? Like, it was Friends. It wasn't art. Like, actors, I mean, you're just pretending. There's great actors. There's people who are great at pretending and doing these things. And that's, it's a skill. And we enjoy watching TV, movies, whatever it is. It's it's something that people could learn to be better at and do well, but it's not something spectacular, right? It's not it's, not any way a brilliant thing. There's people who can act in a way and be moving and do all these things. But Friends wasn't that. Like, even the best actor, it's not, it's just acting. It's just pretending to be somebody else. It's, becoming a character. And there's certainly levels, and some levels you would call artistry. You can call some actors and actresses artists, but not Matthew Perry and Friends like it was Friends, right? It was, a TV show that for its time was popular and, was mainstream and goofy and, not funny, and they needed a laugh track and, all these things. And for him to sit around and watch old episodes is, his glory days. I mean, that's like the saddest thing ever, right? No wonder he's taking drugs. The hardest thing to do is be a spiritual person. The hardest, and there's no patting yourself on the back, because humility is inherent in being a spiritual person. And the reason being a spiritual person is hard is you don't get the big rewards that you get from other successes. If you have success in the material world, you get rewards for them. And Matthew Perry got paid really well, right? He did a sort of remedial TV show, kind of a sellout, not great, nothing substantial in the show, nothing that was important, nothing that was, it wasn't great comedy, it wasn't anything. It was an okay TV show, hard to watch now for most people. I would hope, like during its time, all right, whatever. But it was a popular TV show, and they made a lot of money. His reward was wealth and fame. But whenever you have success in the material world, there's some sort of immediate reward for it. Whenever you've done something successful, sometimes it's the work itself. Sometimes it's you can see it's tangible. You can see it. And also it comes with praise and, people get thumbs up and, whatever. You post something on Facebook, look what I did. Yeah, because, these things. You get congratulations, you get, whatever it might be. But in the spiritual world, when you do something on a spiritual path, sometimes there's no tangible reward at all. Sometimes you feel better. Sometimes it's, you have a deep, subtle sense of satisfaction. Whatever, some kind of, it's subtle. You feel better, but it's very subtle. And the main reward is on a spiritual level that no one else can see. You can't really even fully experience the benefits. It's something on a soul level. And I'm saying this because that's the highest, like being a spiritual person. And it's a moment-to-moment thing. It's a commitment to your spiritual path with very little material acknowledgement or rewards and things. And there's no sitting around going, oh, look what I did. Look what I accomplished. Like whenever you do that, it's over. I mean, of course you do that when you're younger, when in sports, things like that, you can't continue to do. But you shouldn't even do it in the material world. When you get to the point where you're just looking back at everything that you accomplished, it's like you're saying there's nothing left for you to do. There's nothing left in your life. In the spiritual world, you're constantly moving forward, and looking backward is just something you do occasionally to validate or to recognize the progress we've made briefly. Not like some way where you sit around and my dad had this retirement dinner, kind of like a roast, after like 30, 40 years of being a guidance counselor. And he taped recorded one of these old-fashioned tape recordings. And during his retirement, he was playing it over and over. Like, he got to do a bunch of jokes, and, it was the whole thing. And he played it. He must, play it every day. I don't know how long he played it, but and I'm like, wow, this is sad. And that was Mathew Perry was doing. But let's get into the predictive programming thing here. Okay, another sort of predictive programming thing here as well. Let me just show you this.
Well, what do you know? I guess I'll be the one who dies first.
Yeah, you will. I bought her a ring because I was desperate that she would leave me. I didn't want to be this injured and alone during COVID. I was high on like 180 milligrams of hydrocodone. I don't know. When I asked her to marry me, I had even asked for her family's blessing. Because the guy just didn't want to be alone in COVID. And plus, he was, there she is there. There she is again. And there they are. When they're all masked up like that, I mean, who wants to walk around alone like that? Mathew Perry sold a $55 million in property and downsized to a cottage where he was very lonely in years before his death. Yeah, that cottage overlooking the ocean there. Is that in California? In the summer of 2020, Perry snagged a 280 square foot cottage in Los Angeles for $6 million. There's the cottage there. Grumpy Robert De Niro testifies in sensational shutdown with ex-assistant who claimed he was the boss from hell. This is nonsense. Another masker. Robert De Niro also likes his masks. There he is there. Half-Baked Harvests, Tegan Garand, says anxiety makes her forget to eat amid weight concerns. I guess she's a cook or something. The deep meaning behind Queen Camilla's oyster brooch from Kenya visit. There's the oyster brooch there. There's got to be some deep meaning there. I didn't know they were calling her Queen Camilla. Is she really a queen? I mean, I thought she was just a consort, which is another word for hoe. Damar Hamlin returns to Cincinnati on a mission bigger than football, walking in with courage. Because, it was the place that caused his cardiac arrest. It was the stadium that caused his cardiac arrest. Charlie Sheen had a knee-jerk reaction to daughter Sammy's OnlyFans career. This can only go bad. One of these girls is his daughter Sammy, and she's got an OnlyFans. There's this degenerate MNFer and his former hoe, who's one of those housewives. John Stamos yelled at Elizabeth Taylor, called her an old lady on General Hospital set. She was on General Hospital. John Stamos said he accidentally snapped at Elizabeth Taylor for being in his eye line while filming General Hospital in the 80s. The Full House star recalled the moment during a Tuesday appearance on somebody's XM radio show. Do I really need to read this? They're all writing books, right? All these losers writing books. Natalie Ryman, 18, back home in U.S. 10 days after she and her mom released. Senator John Fetterman trolls an old foe with not-so-sweet Halloween treat. It's something to do with Dr. Oz, and it's just some goofy thing. But here's the kicker here. Wild and crazy evening with the Crudites. That's some kind of, I don't want to get into that. It's, but here's there's his Instagram page here, right? Remember this? When he did the porn stash, and then here's the photo here. It's Jasmine and Gino, and he's 51 and she's 34, and what could go wrong with all of this? Totally blue, Brooke Shields reveals she recently suffered grand mal seizure, and Bradley Effin Cooper helped her. So there's another seizure here. They're dropping like flies. Brooke Shields revealed she recently suffered a grand mal seizure that resulted in her being rushed to the hospital via ambulance. The pretty baby star had been preparing for a one-woman show at the Car Loyal. I bet that's excellent. When she collapsed and started frothing at the mouth. I was drinking so much water and I didn't know I was low sodium. I was waiting for an Uber. It was too much water. I got down to the bottom of the steps and I started looking weird at people, and I was with, were like, "Are you okay?" And the people I was with were like, "You okay?" But suddenly her surroundings went dark. Everything went black, and she started to froth at the mouth. Looking very dudeish there. I started having a grand mal seizure. It means frothing at the mouth, totally blue, trying to swallow my tongue. Next thing I remember, I was being loaded into an ambulance. I have oxygen on. For a mile, I realized there's none other than Bradley Effin Cooper in the ambulance with her holding her hand. Look at him. He just shows up everywhere. And so she's okay now. Jennifer Gardner appears upset during impassioned chat with ex-Ben Affleck, who then backs his Benz into another car. And so they have pictures here. Here they are. Okay. Not for you. I'm tired of you. I got divorced from you. It's my day. There's my Benz. Yeah, shut up. Shut up. You. And then he's going, okay, just calm down. Just calm down, honey. And then, all right, I'm getting out of here. And then he backs his Batmobile into the car behind him. And, and then he goes home and kisses J-Lo. U.S. to build nuclear gravity bomb. The U.S. Defense Department on Friday announced that the government is moving forward with developing a new version of the B-61 nuclear gravity bomb. I'm not sure what they had an old gravity bomb. A gravity bomb, by the way, is a bomb that falls to its target sometimes, though not always navigating as it descends. I still don't know what that means. What is a nuclear gravity bomb? A low intermediate yield strategic tactical nuclear weapon featuring a two-stage radiation implosion design. Still, Not fully clear on that. Guess who? It's Sharon Osbourne. She's Googling it up herself with Ozzy. Ozzy, they're just like Kanye and his new wife, in air quotes. Aaron Spears, drummer to the stars like Ariana Grande and Usher, dies at 47. Another drummer. They've been getting lots of these drummers. Spike in premature cancers in young people in Florida spark alarm as doctors warn getting cancer in your 20s and 30s is now a norm. I wonder what's causing all that. Silicon Valley titans use strong-arm tactics to land for utopian local farmers. A shadowy firm backed by Silicon Valley billionaires used a variety of strong-arm tactics to wrest away nearly $1 billion in California farmland. Okay, so I covered this before. They've bought all this farmland somewhere out there in California, and they're up to no good, and nobody knows what they're doing. But, it's got to be pretty shady, Khloe Kardashian, the big one. I called her the big one because she's bigger than her other sisters, like she's a whole head taller. But then this meme came along, one of my viewers sent me. Let's roll the meme.
So, you guys make fun of me for having a bigger vagina than most.
So Khloe, I always call her Chloe, and then my wife says it's pronounced Chloe. Khloe Kardashian called out for blackfishing with Bratz doll Halloween costume, 3 shades darker than usual. So, is that her there? So, yeah. She's definitely done something there. There she is there. There she is there. Now, the interesting thing is that one of them is her sister here, and then Natalie Hulko and Olivia Pearson, is that they're just human Bratz dolls. I mean, I don't know when those Bratz dolls came out, but they became famous shortly after that, and they're just literally human Bratz dolls. Okay, Bobby Knight died. I don't know if I'm going to cover that. I'm not. I just did. So he was 80-something. Legendary psychopath coach for the Indiana Hoosiers. And that's about it for this one. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely born for the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.